Hi folks, this is my Ibanez RGT HRG-1, which is 2005, made in Korea, and the easiest guitar to play that I have. This thing is effortless. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this down a bit. I tried a take and I got to about 20 minutes before I got to any sounds, so that was crazy. This was made, this is the first incarnation of a collaboration that Ibanez made with HR Geiger. Giger. He's Swiss, I'm not. My pronunciation is bloody awful. So being Scots, I go Geiger. And that's it. Okay. He is the artist who designed the alien in the movie Alien. Sigourney Weaver's friend. That one. Nasty guy. Anyway, not the artist, the creature. This was from an image or a piece of art he's called New York X1X, I think. And up close, you can see it's quite a lot of detail in it. It's just a print. It's nothing fancy. There are some beautiful Geiger Ibanez that are all engraved. They're all carved out. I think it was an S series. It's stunning. They're incredibly rare. This one's not so rare, but it's also, I think, noteworthy and worth letting you have a look at. I'm not sure it's even as unusual as my Ibanez RBM10, which has done really well. Thank you very much for all those who have had a look at that. And if you haven't, go and have a look at Red Beach's cheaper, less expensive version from 1995. So this is 10 years later, 2005, 2006. And this one is one I picked up secondhand about 7 or 8 years ago now from Guitar when I lived in the UK. I think it was Guitar in Glasgow, which is a great shop. But this caught my eye partly because of the design. On stage that looks really cool. It's quite metal. You know, from a distance you don't see the detailing, but it shines and it's a bit reflective and it catches the light and it's really, really nice. The other reason was I didn't actually own an RGT. I have plenty of Ibanez RGs. I didn't have an RGT. And the RGT means T for through neck, neck through. So we have got a 5-piece maple and walnut neck going all the way through, which makes upper fret access effortless. I mean, super effortless. Even compare Ibanez, their all access joint thing is easy. This is even easier. This is amazing. They've started adding the neck throughs again into some of the premium models, which I would certainly check out, just because of the experience of this. And I think they've put a bit of time in making sure, obviously, that this is all very well aligned, because the action on this and the playability with 0 fret buzz is better, and I will say honestly, this is better than my made in Japan eGen 18 TVM. It's set up so nicely. The other thing that's quite nice and a little bit unusual for this sort of price point of Ibanez RG is it comes with a volute. So yes, it has the holes right through the neck. However, we've got that nice bit of reinforcement. So nice and strong. I always say, well, if you're looking at a Korean made guitar, make sure that bit of the neck's okay, because it can fail. So that's good. Tick. Neck through. Tick. The wings on this, the top half and the bottom half, are mahogany. Not so tick. That makes this thing incredibly heavy. It's probably the heaviest guitar I have. Similar maybe to my Jackson and the Maple Kramer's heavy, but I think this has the edge on it. It's a weighty bit, but it hangs very nicely and it balances perfectly, so I cannot fault that. The weight I don't particularly notice. It's pretty inconsequential. So for, you know, like I say, I'm not far off 50 now, so for somebody who's in their 20s, nothing at all. So the extra jumbo frets, or medium jumbo frets, so great. The thing I love about this is the two humbuckers. Now these are the Ibanez INF Infinities, and they have a terrible, terrible reputation. Oh, they're dull, they're this, that, they're no good. Go online and have a read, and everything you read says that these are a bad thing. These are probably the nicest pickups I have. I've got Seymour Duncan's JBs, I've got Seymour Duncan distortions, got Jazz, got let's see, DiMarzio Evolutions, Evo 2s, Tone Zones, Air Nortons, PAF Pros. I've had EMG 8185s on another guitar. I've got Iron Gear stuff, I've got EVH Wolfgangs. Plenty really nice pickups. These are probably my favourite. And I won't say it's all INF Infinity pickups, because I've had an Ibanez Gem Junior, the yellow one from Indonesia. First thing I did, pickups were gone. I've got another Ibanez 2 RGs that were Indonesian with Infinity pickups. One now has got PAF Pros in it, DiMarzio PAF Pros, and the other one is DiMarzio Evo 2s. So they were awful. These are amazing, and I really don't know why, and I'm not going to pretend to know why. All I know is the tone in these is fantastic. Powerful, balanced, there's no excess highs, there's no excess lows, there's no nasty spike in the mid-range. They're really, really just a fantastic all-round pickup. And that goes for both. So that, in conjunction with the wiring that comes with a 2 humbucker Ibanez, makes this an amazingly good, versatile gigging guitar. And I prefer the Ibanez with 2 humbuckers than the one with the HSH. Couple of reasons. The first reason is I don't have a single coil pickup in the way here. Now, I'm not a particularly deep, I don't hold the pick away here. I hold it very, very closely. However, sometimes you can end up clunking the middle pickup anyway. No middle pickup, no problem. So that's a great thing. The other thing is, I find with the HSH, you've got a really high output on your bridge humbucker, a really high output on your neck humbucker, but when you go to position 2, 3 or 4, there's such a drop in signal. The output really plummets. So you can be crunchy, quite happy, got a nice crunch going, and you want to retain a crunchy tone, but you want to maybe round it off a bit, and you want to have it a bit strattier. I'll use the term stratty because that's a good one to use. And you flick it to position 2 or 4, and the volume on an HSH can drop so dramatically that that nice crunch is suddenly crystal clear. It's just a clean tone because you've got such low output hitting your amplifier. However, this doesn't particularly split very much. So we have, I'll go through the tones quickly with a clean channel, Bugera 333XL into the Laney 4x12 cabinet, and for giving it a boost I've got my cheap Mosky Golden Horse. See, I do use it. It's a great little boost with the Bugera. It's a monster boost. So clean humbucker. Nice and warm, round tone, not super punchy or abrasive, which means that just drives beautifully, like a full range right through. When I flick to position 2, when I have got one coil from the back, one coil from the front, listen to the difference in volume. Very similar. So I've got that thinning, but the output is still high. Lovely round tone, great. That's just stratty enough. I'm not going to play that thing, but you know, you can get away with that with a guitar that looks like this. The middle position is both humbuckers, so that's the same as you would have in the middle position of a Les Paul or anything that's a 3-way toggle switch. My Wolfgang's the same. Again, very usable tone. Now the one I really love is the neck, position 4, which is the neck humbucker but phase reversed. Incredibly usable. So this is what I mean. I can have my rhythm sound on the bridge, flick to that position 4, and it's not a big drop in volume. Brilliant! So that's my favourite wiring design out of all my guitars. The HSH is nice and versatile, but this is balanced. That's just great. So neck, as you'd expect for the neck. Huge, rolling, big tone, and that only gets better when I'm into some gain. So I'll do that right now. I've got a little bit of delay, which is up there, you can't see it, which is my old Boss SE50, can't see it, it's lodged up there. It's a little half rack thing from 1990. There's a video on that. Great delay unit, and they go for about 50 quid, and it does everything. Ping pong, stereos, it's obscene. So a bit of crunch into metal land, put the boost on, and this bridge humbucker just roars. So yeah, bags of power, bags of thump, but you've got definition too. So yeah, you know, that's doing everything from as heavy as you want to hair metal and everything in between. But if I just flick that into position 2, you've got drive. You can hear there's a brittleness, but not a drop in output. So that helps really make that cut through. Middle position, as you'd expect. My favourite one, position 4. Similar to position 2. And then, yeah, you want to clean it up. Use your volume control. And the neck. We'll not waste too much time on positions. So even in the neck pickup, it's still punchy and bright enough for some rhythm playing, but smooth enough for that nice lead stuff. I'll just do some basic rhythm chugging with the neck pickup, which you shouldn't really, but you can do if you want, but nobody really does. So yeah, bump. Quieten that down again. Never have any problem with microphonic feedback either, which is a great thing. And the trem. Oh, must mention the trem. It's the Low Pro 2, which they discontinued, I think, in about 2008, which I think was a bit of a shame, really, because out of all the budget trems that Ibanez have produced over the years, this one is my favourite. It's incredibly stable, never a tuning issue at all, quite a hard wearing trem. I like how smooth this is when you're over the top. There's nothing harsh at all, nothing sharp. But the other thing that's really good, it's a push-in bar. And unlike the proper Low Pro, if I go around here and dip the trem, see that little hole? That's a little Allen key, little grub screw. So you tighten that up a touch and you have no play on that bar. It's feather light, but you don't get the tick, 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 that play. There's none of that at all. It's a gorgeous trem. It doesn't suffer the wear that even the proper original Low Pro does, because it has the little nylon bushes. This doesn't do that. Any wear, fraction of a turn on that little grub screw and you're sorted again. And the other thing that's great about this one, if I zoom in again, if I go forward, these string clamps go far back. I can drop in a string with the ball ends attached, so I don't need to cut them off. If I catch the light there, you see those little red things in there? they're little retainers. So you drop your string in with the ball end till it just sits on those, tighten up your locking, the string locks as normal, and that's it. No need to cut, simple. So you only have to cut the ends. The number of times with a Floyd or any of those, you've got to trim one end, fit it, trim the other end. This you don't, you just drop it straight in. That's fantastic. So this is probably one of my favourites, if not, yeah, it's in my top 3 favourite guitars of all time that I've got. And I'm comparing that, you know, I've got a decent collection, some Japanese Jacksons and my Kramers, my E-Gen Premium Ibanez, EVH Wolfgangs. I've got a Gem Junior, the Korean one, the 555. So good quality guitars. This one, I think, probably beats them all in terms of playability for sure. It does in tone as well. The only thing was, I'll go to these, it's got a lovely binding. Go to this side. See that nice crackly, cracked ice looking binding? That's its Achilles heel. It came with tiny, tiny little fret dots, white ones, in amongst all that crackly effect binding. On stage you can't see it at all. It's invisible. The dots are absolutely invisible. And yes, you learn your positions, you learn where you are on the neck. However, once you're on stage and the lights are going and things, sometimes you do need the reference. 30 odd years later, I still need a reference. Just, yeah, that's where I am. Even if it's just the start of the song. They were so bad that I've probably ruined the value of this guitar because of it. But it's a working instrument. I do things to suit me. So what I did was, if you have a look, you now see black dots. There's the double one there, and there's black dots all the way along, and you can see them. Under stage lighting you can see those even clearer, which is a bit counterintuitive. The white ones I couldn't see, but the black ones I can. They're not dots. This is where the comment section will be like, oh my god, what did you do? I took a drill and I drilled out the dots. I drilled out all the white dots and I haven't filled them. They are holes. They're not holes in the neck, they're just holes in that plastic binding. However, light can't escape from that very easily, so there's no reflection. So understage lighting, even the brighter the lighting gets, the clearer those dots become. Because everything else is reflecting light everywhere. Those dots are not. The light goes in the hole and bounces about and doesn't escape again. Same as that fancy black paint that, I can't remember his name, Kapoor makes. But this is just a hole. This is just same idea but done with a drill bit. And it just, you don't notice it, you don't feel it. There's nothing to be aware of. If I want, I can always fill that again with a white epoxy or, you know, fret dot markers. However, the black holes on this actually work great. You can actually see a bit of the problem with the markers on the front as well. In some light, you've got fret markers. There we go. Tilt them that way and they almost, some of them almost disappear. And I'm just right directly below a light with no lampshade on it just now. So you imagine on stage, they've got a habit of just disappearing completely. And as a guitar player, we don't see the front ones, but it's handy to have a reference on the top. The last thing I will say, this came with an absolutely beautiful hard case. Molded plastic, all blue, fluffy stuff inside. If I leave it open, the cat would be in it in a fraction of a second. They would love it. So the case is equally as good, if not better, than the current Prestige cases. Very similar, but I think slightly heavier made. fantastic case. This one sadly has got now a ding in that edge, and there's a ding in that corner. But it does have, and if I tilt it this way, you might see the nice little touch. Can you see just faintly there? There we go. There we are. See that? There's the alien from Geiger. Googer. HG Geiger. I'll go with that name. So that's his little plate. Now, the thing that kind of shocked me was I had a quick look on Reverb before I started this video, because I thought I'm not going to go 25-30 minutes talking without actually checking if these things are still about, and they are. However, my usual spiel of saying, you know, these are great, I picked this up £300, so, you know, $350, $360 or euros. Great buy, find one, great. I went in Reverb and I was absolutely shocked. A good condition one of these is going for 1,100, 1,300 euros. And I drilled holes in it. Okay, comment below, never drill holes in your guitar. However, I couldn't gig it. I wasn't thinking of it being a really valuable instrument. It's valuable to me because I love playing this. But yeah, just shows you the prices have went astronomical. However, for the price that this costs, you can now get a neck through premium. I would be interested in getting a hold of one of those and comparing it to see if it is as good as this. Because this is the only neck through Ibanez RG I've got. Somehow I'm skeptical. There'll be some goodies it has over this, but I can't imagine that it's any better to play. You never know. They do a model of this without the graphic on it, and they go relatively cheaper. It's the RGT 460, I think it is. And they were Korean made. It's exactly the same guitar, but just an all black finish. Maybe a touch of sparkle in the finish. There's a slight sparkle in the back of this as well. But they don't go for near the price of this. And this is just a print. So if you see one of these, wow, great, lucky you. But the RGT 460, look around 2005, 2006 models, and they don't go for much money at all, for 400 euros or so. Fantastic guitar. Little bit different. Got your volute, got your neck through. I'm not going to say that your pickups will sound as good as these ones, but try them. Don't just bin or get rid of or swap out a set of INF pickups just because the internet says they're not good. Pickups, like anything else, are inconsistent. You can get the Friday afternoon one that's terrible. You can get a Monday morning one. Or you can get one that's Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning that's absolutely fantastic. It's magnets and wires. And if you get a good one, you get a good one. So maybe it's just consistency you're paying for again. So thank you very much for having a look at my Ibanez RGT HRG-1. There's engraved ones of these, there's the S series, there's a few different versions, and the prices go up and up and up the more rare they become. It's a shame because they're actually a great gigging tool. Little bit heavy, but a great gigging guitar. So thank you very much. This is now the Friday before Christmas. So I'm hoping I get some things to talk to you about then, because I'm quickly running out of guitars. Nobody sends me anything, nobody pays me for anything. The more subscriptions I get, the better. If I hit, I think it's 1,000, I might start to get 10 euros every couple of months from that. But at the moment, 0. I'm at nearly 250 subscribers, it's gone up a bit. So the more, the better. So please like, please subscribe. If you've made it this far in the video, well done! Because I go on quite a bit. That's half an hour talking about a guitar again. That's the best part of 20 years old. So Have a nice evening. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.